Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. Sorry for the delay. Let's start now. आप लोग तो जानते हैं, मुझे बताने की जरूरत अपने बारे में नहीं है. Let's start with. अच्छा, मैं पहले ये करता हूँ कि I talk about the typical R&D project. ठीक है? और इसमें
साहब थोड़े कुछ नए लोग भी आज ज्वाइन किया, थोड़ा इंट्रोडक्शन रिकैप करें तो अच्छा है. कुछ
अच्छा,
हमारे पीएचडी यंग फैकल्टी ने ज्वाइन किया है, कुछ और मेंबर्स हैं आज.
अच्छा,
हमारे
ठीक.
IEEE वगैरह के. थैंक यू.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Saab. It's a great pleasure to be talking at this August forum, and I'm extremely grateful to you and the team who's here today to listen to my presentation on commercialization of research. So myself, Azhar Rizvi, I started my journey in 2006 of developing entrepreneurial education program. Initially, I started with MIT and launched a business acceleration program, which ran for like 11 or 12 years. It was a 5-month program, which included trainings, which included mentoring, coaching from local as well as international mentors. And then the 3 winners used to go to MIT for their entrepreneurship development program. Then the road shows in major cities in US by Open Organization of Pakistani Entrepreneurs in North America. And this is how it all started. Then we formed a company called Cambridge Advisors Network. So that was done by MIT Enterprise Forum, a chapter of MIT in Pakistan. But this another private company, which is CAN, Cambridge Advisors Network, was established to promote entrepreneurship at universities. Starting from 2010, we launched a program called Invent from IBA, and next we launched a call PM Entrepreneurial Challenge. Both of these programs were on the same format as of MIT, 5-month rigorous training, and then mentoring, coaching of students, encouraging them to make multi-university teams and multidisciplinary teams, and then the winners used to get pricing. And that is when we realized that there was a need for incubation centers and OREX. So 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, and from 11 onward we started. We worked with HEC to write the OREC and BIC policy. I am very grateful to HEC, which gave me the opportunity. So we wrote OREC and BIC policy. And from 2012, we started training OREC and HEC, OREC and BIC managers, which are all PhD, on commercialization of research. Then Defense Research Organization through IST, established HEG Park, then work with Tandojam, President of Pakistan Initiative, CNS Blue Initiative. So a lot of things have been going on in the last plus 15, 16 years. And this is our journey. Today, I will try to talk to you about. So this is basically, in a nutshell, what I have been doing for the past 15, 16, 17 years, alhamdulillah. And last year, I had to abruptly stop everything because in July, I had a major cardiac surgery. So a bypass, and alhamdulillah, I've recovered. But then again, in February and March, I had went through COVID. So it's been up and down. But I think Allah was preparing me for working with the research community of Pakistan. So I'm back, and now, inshallah, developing a training program again for the research and commercialization aspect of universities and as well as research organization. So when we talk about a typical R&D project, so what I mostly see at the university is you identify a problem or a need. This is the problem that we are going to now delve into, and we do the right literacy research, try to find out as much information as possible on that need a problem. Like in your case, you're working on 2 initiatives that we've spoken to me about, although there are 10. But the 2 I know are one railway track monitoring and repair and maintenance, and the other one is electric motor monitoring and process monitoring. So I'm sure what you would have done is done a lot of research, how others are doing it, what is needed, what is the problem. Then you prepare a concept paper, share it with your colleagues, and once agreed, you have few organization of people who give you the input. Then you prepare a proposal and a project plan, and it goes for funding. In our case, it's mostly government, Ignite, HEC, whatever, or any international funding. So our universities mostly go to government funding or grants so that they can pursue their the project that is there, and they try to solve the problem by developing a solution. Once you get the money and you have the go-ahead approval of your funding organization or the customer funding organization, you establish product goals, yeah, and attributes based on your customer needs. कि भाई, this is going to be our product goals and the attributes that are needed by a customer. Then you identify components and parameters available for selection of the adjustment. That these are the components available in the market, and these are the ones we are going to incorporate into a product, a final product, or prototype, or beta application, which is going to be used by customer. And then we'll see, based on their usage and input, we will be able to further modernize it, and then with performance specs. So you then write the performance specs. Once you have the product parameters, you write the performance spec. Okay, this is what is the minimum expected from the product that we are developing. You establish a product configuration, select the component product, and optimize the parameters for the product. So this all research work require a lot of great thinking, putting in effort, talking to a lot of experts in the same area to come up with the first configuration, then product configuration, then selection of component, and how you will optimize these parameters of the product so you can give the best possible solution to the customer for developing a prototype. So this is the journey up to product. I may be missing a couple of steps. This is the general understanding I have about R&D phase. Once you have that, then you do for beta testing, and there is a possibility that you might be able to make your first sale, because suppose you are working with Pakistan Railway or any organization which is working with you and collaborating with you to develop a solution, they might be a first customer. So what are the next steps? Once you have done all the research work, you've done all of that, what you need to do, what you do mostly is then you try to sell it to the customers. That now I will go to Pakistan Railway and try to see if they are willing to buy it, or I have developed this motor in collaboration with Alsons. Let's see if they are willing to help me to sell these products to the market. You try to build a team, marketing, finance, and ops, that now let's hire some people who can help us with writing a business plan or selling the product. Then you try to get some investment or partners on board. IEG, this is what we plan to do. Please come and work with us so we can take this mission forward. Try to sell, make profits, and expand your operation. Now, this is a general life cycle of a R&D project. This is how it all starts, and this is where you try to culminate. So now let's look at I would say that let's do the critical analysis of what we have done now, up till now. You try to sell the customers, you try to build a team, try to get investment partners on board, you try to sell and make profit and expand your operation. And this is probably one of the most difficult jobs. Once you have a product in hand, once you have a customer in hand, and then you try to sell it to other customers, since you have been working with a set of customers, with one customer or a couple of customers for ages, you somehow get honed into their requirement only. And you somehow have not developed an assessment of the need of other customers. And you are all educated, mashallah. You all know what it is. But when you go there, sometimes you get major surprise that this is what not the others need. We may have to go back to the drawing board, or we may have to do a lot of major changes there. So as an entrepreneur, so how do, in Pakistan, since we do not have a very a powerful corporate sector, the business sector, or the industry, which does not lead you in developing their needs and products and services. So there's not a very entrepreneurial approach used by the research industry. So if an entrepreneur comes and start to work with you, what would they try to do? The first part of problem or unmet need will not be same. I will discuss it later in detail how it is done. So the first part is problem or unmet need. They try to distinguish between what is problem and what is unmet need. Then they immediately jump into market size. How big is the market? Take, for example, your railway products. How many railways are there in the world? What are they doing now? What is the solution cost to them? How are they benefiting from it? How are they utilizing it? So suppose you find out of the 200 railways in the world, 200 countries, 200 railways, there are 50 which are still not utilizing anything. And they have a railway track of 1 million miles. And every year they have X amount of problem, which cause them multi-million or $1 billion worth of loss. So you are able to do market sizing. You get a feel of and you say, at biggest advantage of making a business plan is that you can stop whenever you want. You don't have to wait. You might come up with a product which will be excellent to solve a problem, but the problem will be so small, then you might not want to do work on it. So as a researcher, you must understand that the issue is not, or the requirement is not only to solve a problem. The requirement is solve a problem which have a big market size, which has a big opportunity size, so that we can create, not only to make money, yes, you want to make money, but you make a major impact in the society, in the cultures and government and people and industries across the world. So you should be known as, like India, other countries are coming up, like China, like Malaysia, like Indonesia. Indonesia is manufacturing aircrafts. Malaysia is into food and now automation and technology and automobiles. China is into everything. So whatever problem you solve, it should have a huge market size. What question you ask when assessing that, we'll talk about it in a minute. Then comes the target market. You're not going to work on all the segments of the market. So which segment should you work on? And why should be that segment only? And why not the other segment? These are the questions that you ask in that process. And then once you have the market size, it's a $50 billion market supposedly, and it has 20 different segments, 100 different segments, and each segment is worth, say, $1 billion. And this is the market with $500 million, which we are going to work at. So solution making becomes extremely useful, and you may not be building a best mousetrap. You will only develop a solution for that target market. Okay? So your time frame would come down in developing a product. Then you look at the opportunity size. Suppose there were 3 railways in Pakistan or 4 railways in Pakistan. You might say, okay, the target market are railways. These 4 companies are there. We'll only focus on XYZ railway, Sindh Railway. Suppose every province had their own railway. We said we only work with Sindh Railways because we are located in Sindh. We know so many people there, and it is in our access. So we'll only work with Sindh Railways. Achha, ab dekhen, this is the process you're going through, and there is no talk about solution, product, or service that you're going to make. Now comes a time when you start thinking about a product. Aha, so this is the market, this is the target market, these are the demographics, these are the need of the market, this is the problem we are going to solve, and this is what we need. Now we go on the drawing road with exact requirement. We're not going to build the best product. We are going to build the most needed product with the best component for that segment of the market which we are targeting now. So solution, product or service comes at a much later stage. And once you have that, then you go for product testing. Now, I haven't included competition here. That's for only one reason. And the reason is that I encourage the research organization I work with or I have worked with to not to worry about competition at the initial stage. Let your research staff, like there are a lot of young people over here, use your mental juices, use your skills, use your talent to come up with a product yourself. All of these steps can be done by you. You don't need any competition to study at the moment. And presentation is specifically for Pakistani researchers. Don't worry what China is doing or Germany is doing or XY is doing. This is what I can do. Once you have that product developed in the sense that it's on the blueprint, you haven't gone to the manufacturing or developing a prototype. You just have developed on the blueprint is there. You got the component, you have a prototype. Now you go for competition. And that is when you start comparing your products with the concept that you are developing or the product that you are developing. Again, competition is not only meant price and cost, price and all that. I'll talk about it later much in detail. Then comes the fine tuning of the product. You have your product, you know what competition is doing, you compare these vis-a-vis their product, service, quality, manpower, finances, technology, new technology and all that, and then you come up with your commercialized product. Commercialization of product, again, ideally, when you go for investment, I don't write investment, I say go for customization. Commercialize it. I have done it so many times that developed a product for a bank, Habib Bank. A solution was only 12 lakh rupees, but when I went and sold it to Habib Bank, it was for 8.5 crore rupees. Why? Because I knew my solution was going to automate all the 1500 branches, connect them over VPN. Now this is 2001, when the internet was not working fine in this country. But I have done my homework. I knew if it is, you see, at digital layer 0 to 3, it's all zeros and one. So if you do your job well, and you have the routers everywhere, and you have developed an application which is in offline mode, well, laga ke chhod do, it is going to go there. It will definitely reach to the main router which is targeted to. So we did that, alhamdulillah, did all that in a year and a half, trained 10,000 people. But I did not say, okay, I have made this solution for 12 lakh, please give me 20 lakh rupees or 30 lakh rupees. I told them it is going to save you. Prior to my solution, they had 23 data capture centers where all the branches used to send their paper stubs. They were entered, again sent back. At any given point in time, Habib Bank used to have 150 branches which were out. They were not tallied. There were human errors, entry error and all that. So it took them a while to get the branches updated, balanced, and mostly the branches were balanced in January and for the last years. So it took them 30, 45 days. My solution used to get them data every night. The branches were balanced, otherwise data did not used to go there. And the blockchain concept was not known to me, but the whole solution was made that when the data is being transferred, each branch was transferring it to the headquarter as well as to the regional headquarter as a backup. So God forbid if it didn't go to headquarter, the region used to synchronize, see which were missing, and then they used to say it from there. So I told Habib Bank that you are spending 10 lakh rupees a month per sector, 2 crore 30 lakh rupees per month, 26-30 crore rupees per year. My charges are application 8 crore rupees, and they were happy. There was a happy bank giving me that money. And then I hired people who didn't have manpower. So commercializing and customization required me to hire 1,500 people sitting all over the country. And that is how I worked with them for 8 years. Till 2008 and 9, I was with them. And made lots of money, alhamdulillah, revenue, profits. So coming back to writing a business plan as an entrepreneur, we test the feasibility of our idea. And as soon as we test the feasibility, we go for hiring a team. When I work with universities, they have a great team when it comes to technology, the main, whatever their forte is, but they don't have marketing or sales or operations or finance people. Not your fault. When I wrote the audit policy, if you didn't see that 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I had requested every university to have a office where they had people from all these states sitting there and provide their services for the research organization, research teams. So hiring a team, if it was had been done properly, you would have had finance and marketing and sales people either sitting at the university or available to you from university working with you on that. And that's not a major cost. It's just that we have spent billions of rupees. HEC and university have spent billions of rupees on research and developing products. If you just keep 10% of that, hire people like me and other finance experts, they would be coming with from the word go and would not make you do a lot of things that you do in terms of developing and help you do a lot of things that you cannot do in terms of sales and finding partners or collaboration, not that. So hire a good team is paramount when you are developing a product. Get the best economical resources. Again, the team works on that. And you have to develop strategic alliances. If you don't have alliances, then you're not going anywhere. You have to network and create alliances. Secure funding and investment. I always have encouraged that don't go for funding, go for a customer and jointly build a product. For a product like yours, Shankar Saab and others, which are major projects, you may have to get grant. And I'm not saying not to get the grant. Please go ahead, get the funding. But as soon as you have the fund, get a customer on board, get a team on board. Tell them, yeah, this is the amount of money we have. We are developing this. Come on board. Yet 20% stake is yours. You will get 15%, 10%, 20% of the stake. Now you help us develop it. And then you will see the magic. People will get the stake with their background. They know you have all the potential, all the quality. I'll tell you an example. Brigadier Salim Muin Saab was chairman of NADRA. And after he retired from NADRA, he established a company called Secure Tech, which is still running. So they came to the MIT program, 6 months program. And when they came, they were a sub $1 million company, sub $1 million company. So they basically had an excellent solution, Secure Tech. And since he had worked for NADRA, he knew what were the requirements of various industries in terms of security. So the solution was selling well in Pakistan. So through our program, we help them to look at international market, look at the problem of international market. In 2012, December, they graduated. In 2015, when I was launching the program again, I asked for the testimonials. They are with me, I'll share it with you. They said, when we came to you, we were a sub-$1 million company, less than $1 million company. In 2 years, we have gone from sub-million to $10 million. And now, mashallah, I was in Islamabad before my cardiac surgery, met them at their office. They are a $120 million company. Mashallah, mashallah. And they're establishing a chip manufacturing plant and a card manufacturing plant. You name it, they are working. All in Pakistan, mashallah. So, tremendous opportunity for all of you, all because they were able to develop strategic alliances at the right moment. And inshallah, you will too, we will too when we work on this project. Then they secured funding and investment. By the way, they did not secure any funding. They have been working on those and evolving themselves. So they don't need funding. They have done it themselves. But you may need to get a partner on board. I'm not saying should not. You may or may not. And that is what we did with them. We helped them to develop a 10-year plan. So when I went back to meet him after 10 years, almost 8 years, 9 years, or 8 years, he said, Azhar Saab, we have already reached our 10-year plan. We have crossed $100 million, mashallah. So a lot of companies, Ivan Ben Sanga, Zafar Khan, then they are billion-dollar companies as well. Everything happened because of proper planning and strategy. I'll talk about planning and strategy in later. So Now I will briefly talk about the problem unmet need. Acha, I am basically a very socially conscious person, and the social development goals are extremely dear to me. So when I was working with MIT, so in 2013 and 14, I worked with Harvard, Michael Porter. He's one of the best minds in the world. So I had the privilege of working with his team, his co-founders, Leela Dejri Cole and Hania, Arab lady, and uh, and when I had the opportunity of communicating with him, I said that Mr. Porter, what is your advice to Pakistan? That my advice to now all the country is the same. If you tell me your GDP is increasing 15% every year, even 15% every year, my only question would be, what are your social development goal index? Where are you there? If your SDG is not increasing and not meeting objective, then I can assure you nothing will help your country. And then he explained it to me. He said, Azhar, if a common man doesn't get 3 times to eat, or wear clothes, or educate himself, or have a proper nice house to live, your industry would not grow, your economy would not grow. There will be few will grow. Soon they will stop manufacturing, start importing, and that is it. They may make a lot of money, but the common man will continue to go through a downward spiral. And this is where we are. In terms of education, there are 3 crore people, kids, youth out of school, not doing anything. In healthcare, we have the lowest numbers. Out of 1,000 kids born every year, 111 die every year. And unfortunately, this is in our province of Sindh. It comes to nutrition, 52% malnutrition, 62% stunting. Skill development, we need to train 3 crore people. Environment, lowest per capita water and forest. Logistic and transportation, only 40 aircrafts in a population of 22 crore. Where in India, there are airlines with hundreds of aircrafts. They go for low cost, cheapest fares in India. And I'm not a fan of it. I'm a fan of India. Let's be honest here. They have done well with it, more than us. They have done very well. Even Bangladesh now. So, talking to this August forum, my plea to researchers, and I hope you can record it. I hope others listen to it. I'm not saying it's golden words, but this is my request and plea to all the researchers in Pakistan. It's about time start manufacturing for looking at the local problems in education, in healthcare, in nutrition. And there is tremendous scope there. In education, I have worked in all the areas, alhamdulillah. In healthcare, telemedicine network, right in 2005 when there was earthquake, saved millions of lives. Skill development, right now I'm working with Hunar Foundation and trying to establish 5,000 skill development centers or vocational training sectors in madrasas. So a lot of work. I am Allah ke karam se trying to do my best, but I would like all of you to participate in that. Environment, low per capita, water, forest. In Karachi from FCCI platform, we are digging wells. All over 1,000 wells will be dug in Karachi so that we can take care of rainwater. Logistic and transportation, I cannot do anything, but again, I wish we all can work together. And with your effort, the Pakistan Railway might be able to increase the number of cars, and let's see what we can do. So let's start with market. Am I clear up till now, Dr. Saab? Is it making sense?
Yes, sir. It's very clear.
Okay.
Very clear, बिल्कुल.
But just need endorsement कि हाँ भाई ठीक जा रहे हो डॉक्टर साहब.
नहीं आपने आफ्टरनून की नैप जो है ना उसको हमें जाग वो अवेकन करके रखा हुआ है.
Honored sir, thank you very much. अच्छा, now let's come to so मैं भी आपको एक बताऊंगा मैं किस तरह से ये वर्कशॉप्स कराता हूँ. तो अच्छा अब आ जाते हैं मार्केट के ऊपर कि पहला सवाल कि मार्केट क्या है. प्रॉब्लम का जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा कि एजुकेशन है, 3 करोड़ के लोग हैं। डॉक्टर साहब 2012 में एक वर्कशॉप करवाई थी ICT R&D फंड ने, और उसमें तकरीबन 50 जो उनके प्रोजेक्ट्स थे, उसके प्रोजेक्ट लीड्स थे, एंड दे वर ऑल पीपल लाइक यू डॉक्टर साहब, PhDs, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट, चेयरमैन, डीन्स, शाफी शुमाइल फ्रॉम लम्स, शफात बजाज फ्रॉम GIK, ये सारे सीनियर मोस्ट लोग थे। ये भी 5 दिन की थी, और जब ये आए थे तो उन्होंने कहा था हमें कहाँ भेज रहे हैं। जब ये गए तो मेरे सारे इंटरव्यूज मेरे पास हैं। मैंने इनको एक बड़ा अलग टास्क दिया था। मैं कहा आपके प्रोजेक्ट डिस्कस नहीं करूंगा, वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द नीड ऑफ द मोमेंट राइट नाउ। 2-3 करोड़ बच्चे बाहर बैठे हुए हैं, एंड लेट अस डेवलप अ सोल्यूशन फॉर देम, ताकि हम उनको पढ़ा सकें। एग्जाम्पल मैं देता हूँ बच्चों को, वो ये देता हूँ डॉक्टर साहब के व्हाट्सएप, फेसबुक, ये सारी चीजें हैं, टिकटॉक, लिंक, ये सारी जो चीजें बनी हैं ये गरीबों के लिए बनी है, एंड they all made for people who are not आपके rich in the American or European environment. Now we have 16 crore phones, 16 million telephones in Pakistan are not smartphones. So if we can come up with a solution like WhatsApp and start charging 10 paisa per day, 10 paisa per day, I'm not even saying messages, sir, 10 paisa per day, the company will be making 1.6 crore rupees, 160 million rupees per month, per 16 million rupees per day, okay, 40 million rupees per month, and 480 million rupees per year. By unicorn standard, your organization worth is going to be 2.6 billion rupees. Now, the difference between us and our brothers and cousins in India is that when they develop a solution, they develop for the masses, they do their pricing at a very lower stage, entry level, and that turns the magic. All of a sudden, they have 20 million people available for their product. Multiply at $1, that's a $20 million per day. Per month, that comes out to be $60 million per month. Yearly, $1 billion. There you have a unicorn. Everybody is trying to work like that. Not everyone is succeeding. But the issue is that gives you a mindset to go at a bigger level, at a much bigger level. And you're trying to solve a problem at a much higher level. So in education, in healthcare, tremendous opportunity. Technology is there. If I can connect 1,500 branches, there is a company called Sehat Kahani and another doctors. They both are my students. They came to me in 2014. They came to me because they knew that I had established telemedicine centers in 2005 and was running till 2010. But then the government stopped all that. Anyways, I did my part. So they came to me. Now they are, mashallah, doing very well, both of them. So in healthcare, there is tremendous opportunity. In nutrition, with Tendojam University, we developed a nutrition formula for expecting mother of third. You can save thousands and millions of lives. Small scale interventions. You don't need to do a lot of millions of dollars for that. If you understand the need well, luckily we are living in a country where people do not need high-end solutions. They need the basics. They are at the Maslow's hierarchy at the lowest level. They need food, they need shelter, they need clothes, Bhutto Saab's slogan. That's all they need. And anyone who can provide it better is the research and development community of Pakistan. All the great PhDs sitting in all the great universities. You do whatever you want, but on a daily basis, you select one project which is for healthcare. Create a team for healthcare, for education, for nutrition, skill development. Tremendous opportunity in skill development. So right now I'm developing curriculum for madrasas, and kids who are in the eighth, they graduate in eighth class after learning the hifz, doing nothing. So what we are trying to convince them and developing for them is a darzi, a tailoring course, a laundry course. Tried to work with Tandojam University. They are not helping me now. So I've started working with Karachi University, and we are working on developing agriculture vocational development. When until Mujib Sarai Saab was there, we did a great job. But now the new VC don't know me, I don't know him. Not a complaint, it's just a comment. Now we are in Karachi University Agriculture Department, and with them we are working on developing drip farming, tunnel farming. The whole idea is to train at least 50,000 students in Sindh, not in Karachi, but in Hyderabad and other parts of Sindh. And if we can train 50,000 kids in this area, they start working on their 1 acre, 2 acre land, start cultivating 3 or 4 times more. That is going to abolish poverty, inshallah. Environment, water, forestry, a lot can be done. We can work with small farmers. There's a company called Zarai Autark, established by IBS Sakhar in 2012. I work with them, a great model. You need to look at that. It's no longer there because when they established themselves well, someone took over the company and now they have to themselves. But tremendous opportunity on all this area. Then logistic and transport, great opportunity in this area for all of us. So when we work for, so coming back to, I think we all know that there is tremendous problems and need in this country, and every need and problem can be converted into billion-dollar opportunities. And once we do that, the educated class of Pakistan start developing those problems into billion-dollar opportunities. Inshallah, Allah has promised He will create opportunities for us. No matter what religion you follow, Allah will help you. And I tell you, I'm a student of comparative religion. All that I have learned is that you only need to follow whatever your religion is. That's all. And the rest will take care by Allah. God is there to take care of that. I firmly believe in that. So for researchers, now coming to the core part, which is market part. So when you create a team of people who are working with you, and they are in the, so now you need to, when you think of a product or problem, you must say, I need to get a couple of market gurus here. Let's go and talk to them. So the first item for team development on the agenda is, let us get a mentor. Acha, so Bhavani Shankar Sahab was in charge of Philips electrical motor divisions in Europe, and he has worked in the company for 30 years. Let's talk to him. How would the software that you have developed for motor monitoring, how is it going to help motors or the companies to optimize their performance, assess their needs, assess their problems for maintenance and all that. Always hire a guru. Get a guru in that discipline on board, because he is the one who is going to help you identify the problem, qualify the problem. Yes, that is a problem. Tell you how many other problems are there which you are not seeing right now. And then he would say, okay, this is how we used to do it. You may try it this way too, or you may have to innovate in that area. So get a guru on board who is from the same industry. Like there should be someone from the railway department, maintenance department, you should be talking to. If you're already talking to, fine. If not, then hire one on board. So first question, where are we going with our product service? Right now, I can see that you only have local market because you haven't done any homework. Once you start doing the homework, you're all educated people, inshallah, you'll have 10 other countries on, like Brigadier Salim Moin or Gul Muhammad Khan, who is the Dean of Electrical Engineering at UET Peshawar. When he came to the same 2012 class, and he was working on some load management software for WAPDA, I told him WAPDA may not be able to listen to you. You go some international market. So he did. Probably sold it in European countries, 2 or 3. Once he was able to sell it to them, optimize them, now it's running very well in WAPDA. And mashallah, for the last 8 to 10 years, Pabda is their customer. So at times you have to go abroad. You have to go and see where the product will sell well before you coming back to the local giants of our Pakistani bureaucracy. And how are we going to get there? The first question is, where are we going? How are we going there? So it will tell you what kind of support, people, manpower you need. Is the market big enough to interest you? This is one question which mostly researchers never ask, because you all are so much glued to the problem. You see, you all are philanthropists, you all are missionary, you all are there to solve a major problem. So you never ask. It goes against your religious beliefs that how can you think about making money? If you're not making money, the university is not making money. If the university is not making money, then HEC is controlling you. When they control you, we know we don't like it, because they have no clue how to run a university. Because they're not here. They can only do so much. They're doing a great job, but ultimate responsibility is on us. That is there a long-term potential for the product service? We need to know that the trolleys that we are making, how many would be bought? Will there be any needed after 200 or 300 or 400? Then what will we do? Again, you go back to where are we going with our product? How are we going to get there? Is the market big enough or not? Second, is that market profitable enough? A question that you need to ask yourself. You may say, yeah, we don't have a product, we don't know how much it costs. Now, go and do some market research, find out how much it is selling for, what am I selling for. Ask industry experts, they'll tell you how much commission or money they are making. Then who are the main players? So after asking these questions, you will have to identify how many buyers are in the market and how many sellers in the market. You may not have exact numbers in some of the cases. In some of the cases of larger projects, you will have the major number as well. You'll be able to identify the main players in the market, sellers in the market. What is the market value? How much money is exchanged in that process? The devices that you are making, how much money they generate in the industry? Is $1 billion, $2 billion, $4 billion? Because the more the money exchange, the more players in the market, the more supplies in the market, the better the value chain, the better the supply chain. Everything is, because a lot of people will be working in that. It won't be a monopoly. So how much is consumed in the production area? What is the wholesale market? And how much is the retail market? All of these areas will get you the right figures, numbers, and so why is this so important? The importance of these questions are because that tells you whether you should go into that market or not. That tells you whether it is big enough to interest you or not. Don't waste your time. You only live once. Make a checklist what you want to do in life, and that I started doing I did it for myself in 1 year, life planning. I've done it for myself now, and I'd love to do it with you all one day. You must have your individual business model canvas. You must have your life plan, each and every one of you. And then it should synchronize with your team, with your family, with your friends and everything. But you must have your own roadmap, business plan, marketing plan, whatever you may call it, a life plan. So it is important because unless the market is not big, please don't enter that. Please don't make that mistake of just accessing it for writing a research paper, looking good. No, you only live once. Do something great. Each and every one of you should have a target for $1 billion product. And when I retire, I would be able to say that this is my patent and it gives me $100,000 or $200,000, $1 million per year. And this product is helping XYZ number of people around the world, inshallah. A very interesting story. Fujitsu no, Fujitsu, Hitachi had these child incubators sold in Africa. They were having a lot of problem in their maintenance, part supply and all that. So the team went to Africa and they did a survey. What they found out was that the most used car was Suzuki FX800 at that point in time. So Suzuki FX800 was the most reliable car. And they had tons of mechanics around the country. Many countries, Kenya, Zambia, Africa, you name it. All the major countries had Suzuki spare parts and all that. So he went back, spoke to Suzuki, that's what I said, strategic alliance. They made a strategic alliance with Suzuki. They said, we need lamps, we will incorporate your car lamps to our kids incubator. Customize it, but use it. We need these frames, we'll use it from car key frames and all that. So in a nutshell, they make those incubators manageable, operable, and maintained by car mechanics. You see, and the intention was to increase the life expectancy of kids. So when you're going after an SDG goal, if you're going after to serving mankind, then research and development is only focused for one purpose: saving mankind, developing mankind, educating mankind, training mankind. Then technology comes as subservient. Technology then becomes a servant of us. It is a servant. It is complementary. It's not basic. Yes, you should use technology, but the problem solved is main. So once you have done the market sizing and all that, and you see that it's a $10 billion market or $100 billion market, then you do segmentation. Now, what is segmentation? Segmentation is that market size be like a big data. So Pakistan is a 23, 24 crore market. Karachi itself is now 3.5 crore. You see, so if you are doing any market analysis for Karachi or Sindh or Pakistan, you look at the geographic segmentation, which means where my prospective customers are living, what part of country they are living, what is the climate like, what is the temperatures like, what is the terrain like. So whatever goes into geography goes into that segmentation. Then comes the demographic segmentation. So geographic is geography and the geography. Demographic is age, income, number of kids, amount of residual income, purchasing power. All of them come into demographic segment. And then the psychographic segment, lifestyle, urban, rural, music lover, what do they like? In urban lifestyle, people sleep at 11 p.m., 1 a.m. in the morning. In Karachi, the lifestyle is the Memon Bradri and the Deliwala Bradri. They open shop at 12 noon. In rural areas, people are up at Fajr in the fields, and by 12 noon, they have their lunch. Over here, they're having their breakfast. Now, this is the psychographic segmentation. If you open a restaurant and try to offer a good deal to these Deliwalas and Memon, say to come and have halwa puri at 8 a.m. in the morning, they look at you like, what are you talking about? So, developing a marketing plan, you have to know the psychographic segmentation. All of this segmentation, the reason you are doing this is because now you're understanding the market and you have to select a target market from it. You simply cannot go and sell it to everyone. There are few organizations like monopolies like Pakistan Railway that you are targeting. So that's a different story. But for generally, like motor automation, automotive maintenance, or what the other team is developing, so for them, you have to know these things. So once you have all done all this, take for example that I gave a problem to my peer scholars, the PhD scholars who were there in 2012. And the problem was to develop a low cost UPS for Pakistan. So a low cost UPS, we have a population of around 16 crore living below the poverty line. And if we have 7 people per household, that makes around 2 million households. So there are 2 million households which needs a UPS, a low cost UPS. So they spent 5 days and we worked together. And when they did the demographics, they looked at KPK, they looked at Karachi, Sindh, Balochistan, and they realized that in demographics, all those terrains are extremely dry. They have their seasons, 4 or 5 of them, 4 seasons. Right? In demographics, they knew what kind of age and income are there in each of the provinces and how it varies from city to city, town to town, and within the city. Then psychographics. So after doing all that, they selected Karachi and the Sindh peripheries, rural areas across Karachi, to focus on developing UPS. And from this demographic, psychographic, and segmentation analysis, they realized that the quality of body that would be used for manufacturing these UPS is going to be plastic because we live in an area which has a lot of moisture. It's close to the sea, a lot of erosion there. And the whole parameters that were being, the products parameters, the component they were using were based on our proximity to sea and the climate. And based on that, they started developing their solution. So you identify the problem, you select a target market, you calculate the opportunity size, and then you specifically identify the problem of that specific segment. So in most of the cases when I work with university projects, what I see is that they have a product which is super bells and whistles. It has everything that is needed because they're comparing themselves with other major manufacturers, suppliers. They want everything to be there. Somebody can say, okay, you can't do this. Whereas you may not need this. You may not need so much. I always tell people to identify the need and sell what they want. Looking good doesn't help anyone. You have to look what they need, not good or handsome or beautiful, what they need. So you go back on the drawing road and you again define the problem. You understand the unmet need and how are you going to solve it, sir? Are you going to develop a new application with existing technologies? Are you going to do some process innovation that might help? Or improve supply chain innovation? Or enhance the life value application of current product services? For example, when I went to a big bank, I said, I'm going to improve your supply chain. I'm going to help you bring data as soon as possible. Application, it was much more primitive what they were using at their main branches because it was not a fully developed application, simple application. New technology, yes, VPN and all that was new, but nothing cutting edge. Yes, we did process innovation. Prior to my application, they used to have 250 forms to fill up for various things. With my system, they only need 30 forms now. Because whatever information there was, it was already in the system. They used to bring it out and add whatever is more was needed. Enhancing the life value of bringing current, that is another area that you look at. So after identifying the unmet need you are going to solve, you look at it from various angles. Is it going to be a new application of existing technologies? Is this going to be some process innovation, improve supply chain, or enhance the life of existing product? You're bringing something from Kenya to be deployed in Pakistan. So you will enhance the life, the value, but the application is current and the service still being used in other parts of the country. Or it's just a paradigm shift. It's an Apple iPhone with no keyboard, or digital phone requiring no paper printing, killing Kodak. When Henry Ford came up with a car, people asked him, "What are you going to name it?" He said, "I am going to name it Mechanical Horse," so that people should not take it differently. Although he was changing the paradigm, but that was very intelligent marketing. So if you are shifting the paradigm, go ahead, do it. But all of these things, new application, existing technologies, process innovation, improving supply chain, enhancing the life, value application of current product service or paradigm shift, only one thing should be in mind. Either it should be saving millions of lives, which is enhancing millions of life, it is educating millions of life, it is feeding millions of life. As Maulana Rumi once said, that Zindagi Amad Baraye Bandagi, Zindagi Be Bandagi Sharmindagi. So if we can think of serving mankind, luckily we have 22 crore mankind living under our Alhamdulillah flag, and unfortunately 80% to 70% are helpless, they're poor. Yet I call them nation builders. The reason I call them nation builders, because 75% taxes come from indirect taxes. It is because they buy soap, they buy food, they buy dalda, they buy ghee, tel, sabun, kapda, latta, everything is bought by them and they pay a tax. So whatever salaries you are getting, the new cars I am buying, the university that are running, it's because someone is going to sleep hungry tonight. I'm not trying to emotionally blackmail you, but this is the fact of life. The moment I realized that, I am just working with universities and now madrasas, because I want to end my life with something which is going to contribute to my country, the beautiful people of Pakistan, inshallah. So coming again to the product established. So now when you, acha, ab aap dekhiye the difference that is going to be now. After doing all the homework, the market sizing, geographic, demographic studies, understanding people need to the extent what do they like to eat, what do they like to spend on, how much they can spend on. Then you establish your product and goals attributes based on your customer needs. And then when you have the clear-cut understanding, identifying components and parameters available of selection or adjustment, they become much easier and more pertinent to your requirement of the project. You write this performance specs then. Again, totally different from writing at the first stage and start developing. Establish product configuration. The product configuration that you're going to make is going to be superb. And since you have done a whole market analysis, you will be building a roadmap. You see, what happens is that since we do not do a whole market sizing and do all the market segmentation, we don't understand the market fully. We just focus on a couple of industries, a basic problem, solve it, and we don't have a 5-year roadmap. While we are discussing this, there will be organizations across the world working on their 2030 models, 2025 models, 2027 models. Reason? Because they know what the customer needs, they know the customer requirement, they know how it's going to increase or decrease in the years to come. And then they are going to exploit that information for building their product, service, organization, training the people, hiring the right manpower, going to the right market at the right time. They would know where to go and when and what to go with, rather than just some super product that you develop in-house and you're going out to sell it, which nobody wants, or people who want it with different specification. So you select the component of the products and optimize the parameters of the product. Now this looks totally doable in the sense that It's more focused. And then you develop prototype. By now, when you develop a prototype, you have an agreement from the customers you are working with, the domain experts that you're working with. A major benefit of working with a domain expert, Dr. Saab, and all the team, that because they are continuously guiding you. And the moment they realize you have something of benefit to industry, they immediately take out their phone, go to a desk, and they start calling people. Yes, Jahanze, I am working with this group. Excellent product, yeah. No, test it out. I am guaranteeing you. No matter how much hard we work, somebody who knows someone and have faith in him will definitely give you an opportunity. And this is the mindset you need to develop in your students. All of you are professors, you are teaching students. They have their final year project, first year project. I think from first year projects, don't wait till the final year. When the very first year, give them a project which should engage a domain expert. They should go to a customer and build a product for them. For next 4 years till they are with you, they should keep on developing products. Upgrade them slowly with the information that they're getting. You're technically upgrading them, send them to the relevant people. At UT Jam Shuru, industry experts should be lined up for opportunity. Is there a new product coming out in my area? Let me know. I'd like to guide that team. Inshallah, it will happen. And now you don't need to bring them to a space. They can be guiding you from anywhere in the world. Another major advantage that we have as Pakistan is that the kind of problems we are facing, they are unparalleled to developing countries. So, like I was teaching before my illness, my surgery, I was teaching healthcare entrepreneurship at Dow Medical University. The MBA program that I used to teach used to have 40 to 50 students, all doctors, surgeons, PhDs, staff nurses, paramedics. And during the first class, I used to make sure, tell them how big opportunity they had. When they used to know that all of these, they used to tell me and ask me, if we can have a call center in Pakistan or India, why can't we have a call center for staff nurses? Or why can't we have big dashboard with parameters from various hospitals around the world and monitor patients from here? Their mind used to work. They look at the opportunity and they say, yeah, this is what we can do. My team developed the kids from Sindh, doctors, they developed a whole prototype. 8 ambulances, mashallah, I'm sure they are running now. And the ambulances were meant to go to do and maternity sort of survey. So they used to go to different towns and gaon and villages and assess mothers to be vital analysis, their blood pressure, all of those things that were needed there. So when you look at the problem, there are tremendous opportunities in this country, and we can develop wonderful product. We can save millions of lives, inshallah. But once you have done the research, I'm sure we all can do a better job. So now let's come to the comparative analysis. By now you have a full command of the product and the service and the market. You haven't gone into development. But now you are ready to comparative analysis because you have done enough research, you have done enough technical review, you have done enough of homework on developing product. Now is the time to go for comparative analysis. So you do product and service analysis. Which are the top product and services? Okay, what is the product service success analysis? How successful are those products? What are the weaknesses of those products? What new products are they coming in? What new product service analysis that they're going to get? So all of these questions need to be asked. So similarly, there are 5 other factors. These are human factor. So in comparative analysis, we mostly do is a feature, function, benefit, pricing, costing, sir sasta hai, sir महंगा hai, and this is the best thing that we can do. No, Gina. You have to do 5 different areas of comparative analysis. One is product, and these are the few questions that you need to ask. Top products and services. Product and service success analysis. Then what are the weaknesses of that product? New product and services. What are their service analysis? Human factor, who are their employees? What is the turnover in that company? What is the qualification of those factors? Who are the sales team members? The finance team? Because the stronger they are in those human factor, the more difficult competition will be with you. When Lee Kuan Yew, the founding father of Singapore, was asked a question in 2000 at the turn of the century, that Mr. Kuan Yew, is technology going to be the driving force? Is technology going to be the driving force for the years to come? And the next century, he said, no. Our focus will be in only one area now, and that is human resource. So then to asked him, why human resource? And the rest is commodity. Everything else is commodity, and which is so true. You ask me, I'm a 60-year-old man. When I started my career in IT, there were only 4 or 5 companies in the world. Now you and I can develop a company and hardware and software and get it manufactured anywhere in the world. It's the human factor. So you must understand the human factor of the competition. Then financial factor, how strong they are. You might come up with a product and they are there to undercut it. They have deep pockets and they'll give you a tough time. Who are the financiers? Who are the investors? How much are they making money? All of these questions need to be asked. Then the strategy and tactics. You see, what we think is that once we have developed a plan, planning only tells you what you can do. Planning, like we are discussing about plans. Strategy tells you what you cannot do, what will be thrown at you from the market. So strategy helps you prepare for the unseen, for the competition. And that is where you need to have the best strategists who should be apt to understand what they might have to do if customer reduces their pricing. They come up with a totally new technology, outdate you. Now they have a satellite-based data rail track monitoring systems. And the laser technology tells you how much is the wear and tear, blah, 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 all of that. Then what to do? What can you do about that? So the strategy comes for handling your competition, unseen, unknown, all of a sudden that happens to you. And then the technological factors. I was watching a documentary on artificial intelligence, and it was 4 years ago. That totally boggled me. Ye kya ho raha hai? So they showed, they played a conversation between a man and a woman in a room. So I thought they might have planted a bug, or they might have planted a device which was listening, or somebody was lip syncing. That is all I could think of. But when they showed me that they had a camera from distance, and all that voice was picked from a potato chips wrapper. So the vibration of their voice was making an effect on that potato chip wrapper, and from that wrapper they picked up the vibration and converted into voice. So this is where the technology is headed. So technological factors need to be understood what we are doing. I'll give you an example. It's a very old image analysis. Now, if you look at all of these, we all know what these are. These are just routers. When you look at all the routers, when you look at the bottom of part, D-Link, which is now owned by Cisco, was 2,210 euros with only 3 features compared to the best product, which is 49 euros. If you do the comparison function and features, this device is basically far more superior. But dealing at 56, why is that? Because I'm sure they knew the market better than we do. The others did. They went to people and sold it. Because the need for the product 10 years ago was for these 3 only. So the pricing does not matter. What matters is your target market, the opportunity size, and how convincing you are that your product will be able to solve a problem which is going to save millions or improve efficiency or reduce cost, all of those things. It's the best example of how should you be developing a product based on customer need, and why should you be developing a product based on your customer needs. So what I'll try to do is complete in 15 minutes and leave 15 minutes of, we are already 5:30 and we have another 30 minutes. So I'll just try to complete in the next 15 minutes. And then if we have any questions and answers, Dr. Sahab, is it okay to complete in 15 minutes?
Fine. बिल्कुल ठीक है जी हाँ तो 15 मिनट 15 में would be better for any questions coming.
Wonderful. ठीक है. So अब हम सारा काम करते हुए आ रहे हैं. हमने पहले तो नीड एनालिसिस की, हमने मार्केट को देखा, वेरियस प्रॉब्लम्स को देखा हमने. अच्छा, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट ये होगी आप सारे डॉक्टर्स से कि अपने स्टूडेंट्स को जो प्रॉब्लम दें वो एसडीजी से रिलेट दें. आप जो लोकल प्रॉब्लम्स है, पानी का, खाने का, पीने का, टेक्नोलॉजी पे दें, मोटर बनाने के लिए दें, बहुत सारी चीजें. एक बच्ची थी, मैं जब पहली बार आया, मुझे एसएम कुरैशी साहब मरहूम अल्लाह उनकी अली के रहमत करे, तो जब वो मुझे पहली बार लेके आया अपने साथ कि चलो यार जरा तुम्हें टंडो जाम दिखाते हैं, तो मैं आया. नहीं सॉरी, मैं जामशोरो दिखाते हैं, तो मैं उनके साथ आया. और वहाँ यहाँ मैंने जामशोरो में यूटी में आई डिड सम वर्कशॉप्स. So I met a young girl who's now migrated to Canada. And you know what she was working on? She was working on a very low-cost ultrasound machines. Because her passion was to give proper service to the poor women in the villages. What a noble cause. MashaAllah. I don't know where she is. And Dr. Saab, you might know her, this girl who was developing this product, ultrasound machine. But then she got married, MashaAllah, and now then she moved to Canada. So, बच्चों को, the kids that are coming to your courses, give them social problems, social issues. Teach them the best in technology, whatever you're teaching them in this space, but help them to solve the problem for the common man. We can transform this country. So coming back to go-to-market strategy, now you have the product, you have done comparative analysis. Question that you need to ask is what to sell. You can be entering a market which can be hyper-competitive, maybe shortening life cycles, rapid commoditization, and complex ecosystem. You never know. So you need to ask what to sell, whom to sell, and how to sell. These are the questions that needs to be asked when you're going into markets. The go-to-market strategy should be based on these 3 questions. But areas that needs to be focused. What is the market demand? The benefit of writing a business plan is that at every stage you are checking, verifying whether you should go with this product or you should not go with this product. At this stage, you may have spent a month or 2 months, and now you come to discover the market demand is enough for my product or it's not for my product. The market segment I am targeting is not ready yet. When I joined NCR in 1989 or 1989, yes, I went to Dayton headquarters for 6 months training program. They used to run an MS in Technology Sales and Management program. So it used to be a short 6 month short program for us and 2 years for the Americans. And that way I saw in our main showroom, the basic, the World Headquarter Display Center, they had a ditto Apple iPad-like device. Ditto Apple iPad-like device. No keyboard, nothing. It used to run with a pen then. But that was for $28,000. When laptop was selling for $8,000 to $16,000. 286 and 386. So technology was there, product was there, but market demand for that segment was not ready or was too expensive. Second comes about that today I cannot live without my iPad. I need an iPad because I read on it. I check my emails, I check my videos, everything on iPad. I work on my laptop or desktop, but iPad is like my window to the world. But 20 years ago, I could not have afforded iPad. Even today, I buy a refurbished iPad. I can't buy a brand new iPad. I don't want to buy a brand new iPad. That is what I need. My need is simple. So I buy a refurbished iPad for $400, $300. So must look at what comparative is. Competition, what comparative set based, you see, what are our terms and conditions, the market environment created by a competition? How are they competing? Through pricing, through costing, or some competitors are only relying on the service. They are so good in giving services that people don't mind paying them extra. Then differentiation. What differentiations are sustainable and difficult to replicate by comparators? So, what is the differentiation that you can give to your customers that cannot be given by your comparators? If a trolley that is made by UET Jamshoro does the job, no other competitor in the world can compete with you because you are here. The kind of service you can give, nobody can give. I've been thinking about your product. What would be great if we can, if Pakistan Rail will work with you for developing 4 or 5 bogies that should be constantly running on the tracks and doing all the assessment that you want to do through these devices that you are building. So it can be an online kind of data coming to you and going to your algos and artificial intelligence. So a lot of opportunities there. How can you differentiate? My product that I sold to Habib Bank gave a tender and invited IBM and Compaq in those days and NCR and Unisys. All of these companies were invited. When they look at the problem, they said only Azhar can do it. Azhar's company can do it because we cannot go to Vihari and Lala Musa and Tandojam to work for your one branch. That was our differentiation. We hired 1,500 boys. 1,500 people to be hired by IBM would have been a nightmare, colossal cost. We did it much cheaper. So, what solutions that you are making? How are you going to meet the market demand? What customer needs that are you going to? So, when you're going to go into market strategy, all of these questions need to be asked again, and this is the culmination. You have been coming from various parts. You're doing market analysis, your customer analysis. Now it is coming to the strategy part. Everything had a plan. You made plans for all of these areas, but now you're thinking about strategizing. And I said, planning is what you do. Strategy is what you comparator to. All of these questions are making you think how to foresee what your competitors can do and how to plan for that. Then channels that you're going to use. Direct sales, wholesalers, retailers. What is the primary channel of distribution that you're going to use? What is the structure? How much are they going to cost you? What kind of inventory they're going to maintain? Or they will ask you to be just in time. How many clients are they going to serve? How well they can serve the clients. So the channels need to be now assessed carefully before you give them any part of your business. Once you have done all of this, and now you are ready to prepare your value proposition. Now, generally, value proposition, people think it's about giving them the best price. It's not only price. Value proposition can be that your product might be selling 10% expensive than your competitors, or 25% more expensive than your product. Why is it that? And why would the customer be willing to pay that? Because you might say that we are here in Pakistan and we are going to staff the 16 junction centers with our people for maintenance and all that. And in every 20 trolleys, we'll give you 1 trolley free as a backup. Now, and for that, we are going to charge you this much. As I said, 12 lakh ki cheeze, but I'll sell it to you 8 crore rupees. And they're willing to pay because throughout the process that we discussed yesterday, I did not see the customer need and customer requirement that clearly. You need to see that. Unless you don't know how much value add you are doing, the proposition cannot be beneficial to you. It may be beneficial to them, you may be selling cheap. But you must make them understand that the value proposition is directly dependent on what they are going to save, not what you're going to use for manufacturing. So look at value proposition in terms of savings to them, backup support to them, reducing downtime to them. Every value prop has a different sort of element to offer and definitely gives you an opportunity to enhance your revenues and relationship with the customer. Then the market segment and the value chain, what value chain structure that your firm is positioned in. You see, like the trolley that you're manufacturing, there are tens of suppliers marketing to the Pakistan Railway. And where do you sit in there? I'm sure there are 10 other companies which are helping them to maintain their infrastructure, service their infrastructure. Where do you sit there? How important are you? Then business model, revenue generation and margins that you're going to make. Comparative strategy, what is a sustainable comparative advantage that you have over your competitors? Right? We did well with Habib Bank for 10 years, but then came an international company, MISIS, and the bank needed something more sophisticated. The connectivity cost had come down much lower, and they could afford a direct online application. So we were the one who trained their people, converted their branches, and started supporting their new application. So you need to align according to competition. Business model examples of brick and click models हैं, then cutting out the middleman model, direct sales model, franchise model, freemium model. There are different type of models. Sir, hello.
Sorry, मेरा हाथ.
अच्छा.
Sorry, हाथ लग गया आप
बस मैं complete करने वाला हूँ. Just give me 5 minutes. बस almost done. So एक दफा सारा कुछ बन जाएगा तो फिर आप फाइनेंशियल प्लान बनाएंगे. उसमें 4 स्टेजेस हैं. ये एक स्टेज भी काफी डिटेल है, मैंने यहाँ से निकाल दिया है. जस्ट टू गिव यू एन आइडिया. सेल्स फोरकास्टिंग आप करते हैं, कॉस्ट फोरकास्टिंग आप करते हैं, Income and cash flow. Cash flow is the most important. I lost one company because of poor cash flow analysis. अगर मैंने सही cash flow कर लिया होता तो शायद मैं वो मेरी कंपनी बंद ना होती. But anyway, बैलेंस शीट आपकी क्या है? सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट इसमें जो है दो चीजें हैं. एक तो सेल्स फ्लो है, सेल्स फोरकास्ट है. सेल्स फोरकास्ट इज द मदर डॉक्यूमेंट. इसके बाद सारा बाकी सारे फोरकास्ट इसके बाद बनते हैं. भाई कितना कमा के ला रहा हो तो फाइनेंस मार्केटिंग सब उस पर आता है. और कैश फ्लो इसलिए जरूरी है बिकॉज ये बताती है कि हर महीने कितना खर्चा है, कितने पैसे आपके हैं. अमूमन कंपनियां इसलिए बंद हो जाती हैं, पैसे तो आएंगे लेकिन 6 महीने बाद, लेकिन आपकी जरूरत कल की. एग्जिट बेसिकली ज्यादातर लोग समझते हैं एग्जिट का मतलब फेलियर है. ये इसमें बेसिकली दो चीजें हैं. एक तो ये अगर फेलियर होती है, फेलियर के माने ये कंपनी नहीं चल रही से आप बंद कर दें, लेकिन एग्जिट के माने फेलियर नहीं है. प्लान इन एडवांस. आज जो आपकी मोटर की जो कार आपने दिखाई मुझे डिवाइस और आपने रेल ट्रैक की दिखाई है, यू मस्ट सी ये कौन सी कंपनी है जो कल आपको खरीद सकती है. दुनिया में कितनी कंपनियां हैं जो रेलवे ट्रैक की मैनेजमेंट कर रही हैं, मॉनिटरिंग कर रही हैं, और किनको मैं ये बेच सकता हूँ. कल कौन है कह रहा है यार तुम ये कंपनी पूरी मुझे बेच दो, बिकॉज आई वुड लाइक टू सेल इट टू अदर कंपनीज. सो प्लान इन एडवांस. वेंचर कैपिटल किससे लेना है, मर्जर किससे करनी है, किससे करना, ये सारी चीजें शुरू में ही सोचनी है. जब आप बिजनेस प्लान लिख रहे हैं 10 साल बाद नहीं सोचना आपने. इट विल बी टू लेट फॉर दैट. So you must plan your strategy from the word go. What it helps is that you are able to identify your probable alliance partners for future. And again, your domain expert can be a great person to do that. So as I said, the problems are immense. Education, 3 crore, healthcare, 10% die every year, especially in our third. Nutrition, 52% malnutrition, 60% stunting. Skill development, millions of kids and only sin just doing nothing. Environment, water issue, forest issue, logistic, transport. So there's tremendous opportunity. And what I would suggest that please involve your students and develop some solutions for them. Give them, this is basically, so ask them to write a concept paper on SDG and what kind of a problem that they can, solution they have in 5 slides, help them present it. Let your students start thinking about it. Make it a game like, a weekly puzzle like. This is the problem on water. Let's see what we can do. Let them do research. When they start learning about the problems and the solutions, automatically their brain will be rewired. They will not be looking at the problems as problems. Political leaders are chore, they are thieves and bureaucracy. Let us not make them think that. Let us make them think that this is the problem and you can solve it. God has sent you to solve it. I am here as a teacher to help you solve it. So let them not worry about the corrupt politician. We can't change them. We can't change them. They will be like this. So bottom line is that one, your project, and then the product, the most important product that you have is your kids. Let's last 2 slides briefly. Once you have done all of that work, now you are in a position to write your business plan. Okay, so this is where we write our business plan. 6 or 7 parts. I won't talk about it, but the reason people cannot write business plan because they haven't done the homework that we discussed up till now. You did do that, then writing a business becomes a piece of cake. But that is just a planning document. What you need is a business model canvas. So after writing a business plan, you prepare a business model canvas, and the benefit is that it is a ever-changing, evolving. You can change it by the way you want it, monthly, weekly, as and when needed. So this becomes your basic strategy document and one-page scenario for everyone in the company that you want to see, seize, and work on it. So thank you very much and best wishes on your projects. Dr. Saab, this is basically a sort of a 2-minute, 2-hour presentation to abreast you on the importance of business planning. Now I'm open for question and answers, sir.
Thank you very much. It's really highly useful. I think for me, it's first time listening this more commercialization aspects. Just adding one thing, whenever I started first international conference in Mehran in 2008, and then rest is history. We have been having so many international conferences under IEEE umbrella and all those things. Let me just 1 minute. I don't know now. I don't know. It's giving two pictures. Choose virtual background. Where's the background? None. If I put none, or if I put
I can see.
Mehran, that would be better.
Oh.
Okay. That would be better. So whenever when we get those foreign professors coming here, they always say one thing comes to their mind. वो कहते हैं कि हम वहाँ पे हमने हाई स्पीड ट्रेन बना ली, हमने जेट बना लिए, हमने ट्वाइस ऑफ द स्पीड ऑफ साउंड जो है वो कंकॉर्ड चल रहा है. अब आखिर हम किस पे काम करें? तो हम एआई पे जा रहे हैं, डीप लर्निंग पे जा रहे हैं, उन नई नई चीजों पे जा रहे हैं. लेकिन आपके यहाँ जो जब आते हैं तो व्हेन वी कम आउट ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी, वी कम आउट ऑफ द गेस्ट हाउस, वी कम आउट ऑफ द होटल, we see hundreds of problems. You have got millions of opportunities to do the research. वो student को भी यही बताते हैं कि आप low cost indigenous solution based on SDGs उनको आप देखें. आपको खाली कोई भी SDG उठा लें, उसको टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके लो कॉस्ट सॉल्यूशन. और आपके यहाँ इतनी मैसिव पॉपुलेशन है, हम आ रहे हैं वहाँ पॉपुलेशन कहीं 5 मिलियन है किसी कंट्री की, किसी की 50 मिलियन है. यूरोप में तो पॉपुलेशन ऐसी है. और जब आप यहाँ पे आते हैं और यहाँ जब देखते हैं 220 मिलियन पॉपुलेशन, कराची की 22 मिलियन पॉपुलेशन, और जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, तो वो यही बात कर रहे हैं कि आप छोटे छोटे इश्यूज लें और इसको आप सॉल्व करें. You have got really so many opportunities. We don't have opportunities. We don't have problems, so we have less opportunities. You have more problems, you have got more opportunities. लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली थोड़ा सा हम क्या हमारे यहाँ होता है कि एक रिसर्च पब्लिकेशन के लिए हम थोड़ा सा वो देखते हैं कि हम बहुत इमर्जिंग टॉपिक उस पर चले जाएं. वो मैं अपने रिसर्चर को यही कहता हूँ कि हम उस पर भी काम करें, लेकिन फिर हम ग्राउंड रियलिटीज को देखकर हम यहाँ के जो इश्यूज हैं, एक छोटा सा इशू हम सॉल्व करें तो वो पता नहीं कितना इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करेगा. परसों मेरे ख्याल में एक छोटी वीडियो वायरल हुई थी. मैं IPA चक्कर से आ रहा था उस दिन. एक तो वो केजरीवाल की वीडियो थी कि दिल्ली के स्कूल्स 4 लाख में, तो फर्स्ट टाइम में 4 लाख बच्चे प्राइवेट स्कूल को छोड़कर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में आए. 4 लाख. और सिर्फ वो उन्होंने सिर्फ 2000 रुपए एक वो दिए टू बिकम एंटरप्रेन्योर. 3 बच्चों ने 6000 लेके वो किसी ने कंपोजिट बना लिया, किसी ने क्या चीज बना ली, किसी ने क्या टूल सॉफ्टवेयर पे बना लिया. वो उन्होंने 4 लाख बच्चे. मैं हैरान हो गया. मैंने कहा दिल्ली पूरे में इतने होंगे? ये तो खाली उन्होंने कहा छोड़कर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में आए हैं. अच्छा, सिमिलरली वो एक कल वीडियो वायरल हुआ, एक मेरे ख्याल में आंध्र प्रदेश का कर रहे थे क्या. एक टीचर जो है वो पुराना सेकंड हैंड लैपटॉप लेके स्कूल में गया, जहाँ लैपटॉप बच्चों ने देखा नहीं, ना बिजली थी ना पानी, कुछ भी नहीं था. वो सोलर की फोल्डिंग प्लेट ले जाता है, वो उस पर चार्ज करता था, वो उसको पढ़ाता था. बच्चे स्कूल में नहीं आते थे. ये कोई 10 साल पुरानी स्टोरी है, लेकिन मैंने तो अभी उसको उन्होंने ब्रॉडकास्ट अभी की. तो वहां क्या हुआ कि बच्चे जो है ना, वो पेरेंट्स हैरान हो गए कि बच्चे सुबह तैयार हो गए, वो कहते हैं हम स्कूल जाते हैं. 6 महीने के बाद पेरेंट्स देखने आए क्या हो रहा है. उन्होंने कहा ये तो इतना इनको इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट करा, वो क्रिएट किया है बच्चों को, वो जो चीजें दिखा रहे हैं. तो उससे क्या हुआ कि एक स्कूल इस वक्त सुनने में आया है कि 50 वो अच्छा. फिर उन्होंने कहा कि बच्चों को जो है वो ये नोटबुक टाइप की कोई चीज 500-500 रुपए पेरेंट्स दे, वो उन्होंने दिए. तो 4 उन्होंने कोई शायद नोटबुक लिए। उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि कोई एनजीओ आई, उन्होंने कुछ सपोर्ट की, उनकी न्यूज बड़ी पब्लिसाइज हो गई, तो वो पूरे स्कूल में इस तरह से हुआ। और सुना है 50,000 प्राइमरी स्कूल्स जो है वो उनके पूरे वो कन्वर्ट इस चीज पे चले गए हैं। तो हमें कोई इस तरह का एक डेंट इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा। और हमारे ये यंग रिसर्चर जो हैं ये इनमें बहुत ज्यादा पोटेंशियल है। और आपने ये 2 स्लाइड और जो टेंस ऑफ मिलियंस प्रॉब्लम दिखा दिए हैं, मेरे ख्याल में इसमें से कोई भी उठाकर, एक तो हम ऑलरेडी काम कर रहे हैं जो रेलवे वाला है, उसकी भी स्टोरी मैं थोड़ी सी आपसे शेयर कर लूं। मैं इंग्लैंड से आया था 90 जनवरी में पीएचडी करके, और एक सांगी रेलवे स्टेशन पे हेड ऑन कोलिजन हुआ था। स्टेशन पे एक ट्रेन दूसरे के ऊपर चढ़ गई थी ऐसे। तो हमने एक छोटा सा एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाया, एग्जैक्टली माइक्रो प्रोसेसर बेस्ड एक छोटा सा प्रोटोटाइप बनाया कि स्टेशन पे जब तक एक ट्रेन वो निकल नहीं जाती दूसरी नहीं आती, वहां सिग्नल लगा दिए, सेंसर लगा दिए। उसने कोई 19 पाकिस्तान में गोल्ड मेडल लिए। पीसीएसआईआर ने उस पेपर को पब्लिश किया, बहुत टाइम लगाया, 2-3 साल लगाए, लेकिन पेपर पब्लिश हुआ। तो ये चलते चलते देखें जर्नी 1995 की थी, 2018 में जाकर हमें ये रेलवे वाला प्रोजेक्ट मिला है, जो पाकिस्तान में किसी और ने इस लेवल पे नहीं किया। हमने पिच किया और ये हमारी टीम ने विन किया। तो ये इस तरह सी चीजें, टाइम कभी कभी लग जाता है। और अभी जो ये 3 प्रोजेक्ट हैं, इनको आज आपकी जो गाइडेंस है इस हिसाब से ये सारी चीजें करके फिट कर दें उन चीजों को, तो ये अभी एक PC1 में जाएगा, गवर्नमेंट की चीजें। लेकिन इन पैरेलल मैं इनको ये कहूंगा कि हमने एक कंपनी भी रजिस्टर्ड की है यूनिवर्सिटी से परमिशन लेकर, और अली उस कंपनी के बारे में या डॉक्टर तनवीर साहब भी मजीद ब्रीफ करेंगे। तो हम उस, जैसे आपने एक बड़ा अभी अच्छा मशवरा दिया कि वो कंपनी हो सकता है उसमें 2 डायरेक्टर हो, 1 लाख रुपए की इन्वेस्टमेंट हो टू बिगिन विद। लेकिन जब वो हम और कई कंपनियां हैं, ऑल्सन्स ग्रुप ऑफ कंपनी है या टेक्नोस्टिक टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं और है, उनको दिखाएंगे कि भाई इस तरह की हमें ये 10 ट्रॉली बनानी है, आप इन्वेस्ट करें, आप अपनी इसमें इक्विटी डालें, ये करें, तो मेरे ख्याल में ये चीजें पॉसिबल हो सकती हैं।
क्यों नहीं हो सकती? बस ना सिर्फ लोकली बल्कि देखिए इंटरनेशनली भी लोग आपके लिए आएंगे। बात सारी ये है कि जब मैंने आईटी में काम शुरू किया तो मुझे अभी लोगों ने पूछा कि ये पिछले 15-16 साल में आपने क्या किया है। मैंने कहा ओनली डन वन थिंग, चेंज द माइंडसेट। मेरा सिर्फ एक काम है कि बंदे का माइंडसेट चेंज करो, बाकी अल्लाह पे छोड़ दो, हमारा आपका काम नहीं है। वो जिससे जो करवाना है वो कराएगा। एक ही घर से कोई पीएचडी निकलता है, तो कोई कारोबारी निकलता है, तो कोई खानदान निकलता है, कोई कुछ नहीं करता है। ये कैसा अल्लाह का निज़ाम है कि एक ही माँ के पेट से 4 बेटे, चारों अलग अलग, ये उसका निज़ाम है। तो वो अपना दूसरा जो बेसिकली हमें इस वक्त जो असल में 2017-18 तक मेरी तबीयत सही थी, मेरे एक्सीडेंट से बहुत कुछ हुआ। तो पिछले 3-4 साल में जो मैं प्रोग्राम रन कर रहा था IBA में के थ्रू और नस्ट के थ्रू, वो तकरीबन पाकिस्तान की 110 यूनिवर्सिटीज पार्टिसिपेट करती थी। तो अभी भी जब मुझे कार्डियक आई थी, मैं आपके पास आया था ना स्टार्टअप सिंध के लिए, याद होगा आपको, तो आपके फिर मैं आया था स्टार्टअप सिंध लॉन्च करने। इस प्रोग्राम को स्टार्टअप सिंध को अभी थोड़ा मैं देख रहा हूँ, आगे चल के मैं फिर से लॉन्च करूंगा। बिकॉज देखिए आप सबके पास एक मैंडेट है, प्रोफेसर्स हैं, टीचर्स हैं, सब अपना काम भी कर रहे हैं, आप लोग पढ़ा भी रहे हैं, 10 काम और हैं। एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऐसी होनी चाहिए जो सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज के अंदर बच्चों को मोबिलाइज करे, मोटिवेट करे, एंड मेक देम गो बैक टू द प्रोफेसर्स टू वर्क ऑन दीज प्रोजेक्ट्स फॉर देम। तो वो बंदे इंशाल्लाह करेंगे। स्टार्टअप सिंध मेरा बड़ा क्लोज टू माय हार्ट वो प्रोजेक्ट है, और हमने लॉन्च किया था। मैं जिस दिन मेरी सर्जरी हो रही है उस दिन मेरी सक्खर में खोसो साहब के पास होना था। रात में तबीयत खराब हुई, सुबह फ्लाइट के बजाय मैं खान में कार्डियक मेरी सर्जरी हो रही थी। तो अल्लाह की जो मर्जी है, लेकिन आप लोग जो कर रहे हैं वो करते रहिए। मैंने कहा ना, अपने स्टूडेंट्स को जितना मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं, यंग जो आप रिसर्चर्स करते रहिए। लेकिन एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हम आप सब मिलके ही बनाएंगे स्टार्टअप सिंध की, जिसमें तमाम यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के जो 8-10 बड़े बड़े प्रोफेसर हैं, 30-40, वो उसको ओवरसी करें। उसके मैंने 2 मॉडल रखे हैं। एक तो है मेरा स्टार्टअप सिंध का मॉडल, जिसके अंदर हर महीने सिंध के अंदर यू ओनली नीड टू बी अ रेजिडेंट ऑफ सिंध, नो रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर एजुकेशन। आपने कोई नई डिवाइस बनाई है, कोई नया हल के अंदर चेंज किया है, कोई भैंस की खल्ली बनाई है, आप आगे 3 मिनट की वीडियो अपलोड कर जाइए और उस पर हम वोटिंग करवाएं। वोटिंग का फायदा क्या होगा कि हम लोग रहते हैं फैमिली, तो एक एक आदमी के 5-5 हजार रिश्तेदार होते हैं, वो सब आएंगे, देखेंगे, वोट करेंगे, वोटिंग में वो सीखेंगे भी, तो एक क्रॉस लर्निंग शुरू हो जाएगी। और फिर जो चाय खानों में हमारे यहाँ वक्त ज़ाया होता है, वहाँ लोग बैठ के डिस्कस कर रहे होंगे कि अदा ने ये बनाया, देखो उसकी बेटी ने ये बनाया, ये शेयर हो गया। एक कल्चर चेंज करना है, एक दफ़ा अब एक माइंडसेट चेंज कर दें आम आदमी का सिंध के अंदर जो है, बाकी फिर 4-5 साल में खुद ही चीज़ें बेहतर होना शुरू हो जाएंगी। एक तो ये प्रोजेक्ट है मेरा। दूसरा जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो ये है स्टार्टअप सिंध का, जिसे मैं कहता हूँ एंटरप्राइज सिंध, जहाँ पे यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट्स को प्रोफेसर साहब इंगेज करके इसी तरह के एसडीजी गोल के ऊपर बड़ी कंपनियां बनवाना। यानी दे शुड स्टार्ट विद $1 million इन माइंड कि दिस कंपनी इज गोइंग टू बी $10 million इन द नेक्स्ट 2 years, 3 years, 4 years। सोचेंगे नहीं, बड़ा नहीं होगा। तो वो प्रोजेक्ट मैं लॉन्च करना था। और एक था, देखिए हमारे 10 शहर हैं सिंध के अंदर डॉक्टर साहब, जहाँ पे यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं। तो मेरे स्टार्टअप सिंध में एक और कॉन्सेप्ट था, 10UC, स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग 10 यूनिकॉर्न सिटीज इन सिंध। हर शहर जो हो वो $1 billion के अपॉर्चुनिटी का हो, फिर इसको 10 पे ले जाएं, फिर इसको 20 पे ले जाएं। जैसे पंजाब के अंदर फैसलाबाद है, सियालकोट है, गुजरांवाला है, व्हाई नॉट हैदराबाद, व्हाई नॉट सक्कर, व्हाई नॉट जामशोरो, व्हाई नॉट all of these beautiful cities of Sindh, and we have a culture of 5,000 years old। हम किसी से कम नहीं है, हाँ। So how can we revive that, डॉक्टर साहब? We must do it। I think सिंध के पास टैलेंट भी है, सिंध के पास कल्चर भी है, सिंध के पास हिस्ट्री भी है। We have everything, and I'm not saying खुदा ना खास्ता गुरूर से, but we are better than all the other provinces in Pakistan, so why not become one? ये सारा मिशन था स्टार्टअप सिंध का। अल्लाह ताला मुझे कामयाब करे, आपको भी कामयाब करे। तो ये जो है 10 यूनिकॉर्न सिटीज का वही पूरा गेम प्लान बना हुआ है, कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, किस तरह से चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स को इन्वॉल्व करना है इंशाल्लाह। तो बस डॉक्टर साहब मैं इंशाल्लाह
इसमें बिल्कुल मैं आपकी एक मुलाकात कराऊंगा। हमारा एक और प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्च हुआ है, मैं जरा आपको बताऊं, आपको लिंक शेयर करूंगा। हमारा है सिंध मेंटरशिप प्रोग्राम। वो प्रोग्राम भी शम्स शेख हैं उसमें ऑन बोर्ड, और 9 हमारा बीओजी जो है वो बाहर से हैं, यूएस यूएई से।
वाह।
तो ये जो आप कह रहे हैं ये बिल्कुल उसकी बड़ी जबरदस्त एमलकेशन हो जाएगी। इसी वक्त हो सकता है नेक्स्ट वीक और वीक आफ्टर हम इस पे जरा आपसे बात करूंगा, मैं जरा लिंक भी शेयर करूंगा। हम इस पे डेफिनेटली वो इसको बड़ा एक इग्नाइट कर देगा, बड़ी चीजों को फास्ट पेस पे करेगा। वो अभी बड़ा इन्फेंसी में है, लेकिन बहुत तेजी के साथ टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके हम काम कर रहे हैं
इंशाल्लाह। नहीं, मुझे बिल्कुल, आप जिस चीज में आप डॉक्टर साहब खिदमत का मौका दें, आई एम हियर सर, एट योर सर्विस।
So can I add one thing, if you allow?
जी जी डॉक्टर साहब प्लीज।
Assalamu alaikum. I am from IOBM Entrepreneurship Department, faculty member here.
इन कराची?
जी कराची।
जी फरमाइए।
जी एक चीज हम यहाँ पे हमने इनिशिएट की है, वो अनफॉर्चुनेटली HEC में हमने फंडिंग के लिए अप्लाई किया था, लेकिन वो कंटिन्यू नहीं हुआ। हमने एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डिपार्टमेंट अलॉन्ग विद द मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट के हमारे HOD और एजुकेशन डिपार्टमेंट, हम 3 डिपार्टमेंट्स ने मिलके एक फंडिंग के लिए अप्लाई किया था, जहाँ पे वी हैव सीन के सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स जो है ना हम यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए कर रहे होते हैं फॉर स्टार्टअप्स। लेकिन ये कि जो यूनिवर्सिटी के बच्चे होते हैं वो शायद एक्सपेक्ट ये कर रहे होते हैं कि हम बस एक सीनियर लेवल पे ऊपर से आएंगे और मैनेजर बन जाएंगे, उनको हैंड्स ऑन स्किल्स की कमी होती है। तो व्हाट वी हैव आइडेंटिफाइड, क्योंकि हमारा जो है वो कुरंगी में यूनिवर्सिटी है, तो यहाँ पे पीछे हमारे जो है वो इब्राहिम हैदरी फिशिंग एरिया लगता है। तो वो फिशरमैन सोसाइटी के साथ मिलके हमने ये प्लान किया था कि हम एक करिकुलम आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे फॉर बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड स्टूडेंट्स के लिए। और क्योंकि यूनिवर्सिटी में आने के बाद बच्चा थोड़ा सा जो है ना वो जरा एग्जीक्यूटिव मिजाज का हो जाता है, तो स्कूल कॉलेज के बच्चों को लेके हम उनको ट्रेनिंग दे के एंटरप्रेन्योर बना के उनको हम लेके आएंगे, तो उनका स्किल लेवल आमतौर पे जो है वो ज्यादा होता है और उनका जो एकेडमिक है वो कम।
माफ, मैं आपके आईबीएम में कई दफा आ भी चुका हूँ।
जी जी,
और आपके शाहजहां करीम साहब मेरे वालिद साहब बैचमेट थे मरूम, और
माशाल्लाह।
तालिब इज अ वेरी गुड फ्रेंड, ही नोज मी वेरी
जी
वेल, ठीक है।
जी जी जी,
और आप लोग बेचारे कोई भी बहुत अरसे से कर रहे हैं अपने इंक्यूबेशन की और
बिल्कुल।
हर 6 महीने बाद एक नया मुर्गा आता है, अजान देता है, निकल जाता है, कुछ हो नहीं।
जी
लेकिन इसके लिए आप प्लीज एचईसी से कुछ ना मांगे, इसके लिए आप बच्चों को इनेबल करें। आप मेरे साथ किसी दिन व्हाट्सएप पे आ जाइएगा, उस
जी,
पर आ
बिल्कुल।
जाइएगा, लेट मी डू अ 1 hour सेशन विद योर किड्स, आई डू इट फ्री ऑफ
वेलकम
चार्ज। और
वेलकम वेलकम।
ये सब एचईसी के पास ना जाएं यार, आप खुद
राइट।
इसको बच्चों को
वैसे अजहर साहब, ये एचईसी ने इनके यहाँ मेहरान दाऊद आईओबीएम एक बड़ा बिग का बहुत बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट अप्रूव किया है।
जी
मेरे
जी
ख्याल में कुछ टीमें उस पे काम कर रही हैं, लेकिन आपकी सजेशन सही है। आप व्हाट्सएप पे आ जाएं। और इस वक्त अली मेहरान, आपको कोई क्वेश्चन जाकिर आपके जहन में कोई है, कोई डिस्कस कोई हवाले से?
Sir, can I ask a question?
Sir, Dr. Tanveer here. I've got a little query.
जी डॉक्टर साहब, प्लीज गो अहेड।
Dr. साहब, आपके first of all, thank you very much. It was very full of insight, the whole lecture, whole the session. अच्छा,
थैंक
इसमें
यू।
काफी चीजें क्लियर हो गई हैं। अभी हम जैसे कल आपसे डिस्कशन की थी कि we were not much into the business टाइप की चीजों में हम ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व नहीं है। अच्छा, इसमें आप जैसे ये बताते जा रहे थे, मैं कुछ चीजें मैं नोट डाउन करता जा रहा था ना, तो कुछ चीजें नोट की हैं, तो जिस तरह से कुछ टेबल ऑफ कंटेंट्स हो गई। अच्छा, क्या तो अली भी इन लाइन है, और अली ने भी कुछ चीजें मुझे अभी कुछ व्हाट्सएप भी किए हैं, तो इंशाल्लाह उन चीजों पे हम थोड़ा वर्कआउट करके कल तक आपको छोटी सी एक जो हमारा बिजनेस प्लान है वो एक ड्राफ्ट बना के भेजें। उसमें थोड़ा आपका फिर एक इनपुट चाहिए होगा।
राइट,
इज इट पॉसिबल कि आप थोड़ा टाइम स्पेयर कर सकें?
आप जो बना के भेजते रहे, मैं इंशाल्लाह टाइम निकाल के इसको देखूंगा, कोई इश्यू नहीं है। आपके पास
ठीक,
सिर्फ एक हफ्ता है, इसमें आपको कंप्लीट करना है, तो
जी जी,
जो हफ्ता जाए भेजते जाइए, इंशाल्लाह इसको देखते रहते हैं, ठीक है।
ठीक है सर, ठीक है, ठीक है,
मोस्ट वेलकम, मोस्ट वेलकम।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
कोई और क्वेश्चन किसी का, प्लीज? इज देयर एनी अदर क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम एनीवन?
So, may I ask a question?
श्योर, प्लीज।
Sir, in previous slides, we saw two different things. For example, market research and market segmentation, and that there was a part about value proposition. So we got the gist of what these things are, but you do have a systematic way of doing this. I mean, we must have some matrices to calculate or see how good we are doing them. For example, if I'm proposing a value proposition, how exactly in numbers I can see that this value proposition is going to be attractive for my end user. So are there any tools or matrices?
देखिए, व्हाट आई हैव डन इज, क्या आपका नाम क्या बेटा?
मेरा आंसर।
मेहरान साहब, बेसिकली व्हाट आई हैव गिवन यू इज, एक मैंने आपको एक फ्रेमवर्क दे दिया है। इस फ्रेमवर्क में एक लॉजिकल ऑर्डर में एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है कि वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन आप सबसे आखिर में कैलकुलेट करते हैं। द पर्पस ऑफ वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन इज टेलिंग योर कस्टमर कि दिस इज व्हाट ही इज गोइंग टू अचीव बाय यूटिलाइजिंग योर प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस। Now, in order to give a value proposition, you must understand that you should know the customer system inside and out. What are they doing? What are they using? Suppose if they are using electric motors, how many are there? the devices that they are using to calibrate, to monitor, how much are they costing? What is their maintenance? So a value proposition is a culmination of your services to a customer and then helping them coming down with their requirement in a way that is beneficial over their competitor. So there are tons of formulas on the website. But the most important thing that you need to understand, like a good doctor and a good gastroenterologist, you must know each and everything about gut, the stomach, and the digestive system. Unless you don't do that, you can only suggest a carbonated mixture to the customer. Okay? You need to do endoscopy. So value proposition is the most important element in any business plan. You do it right, you understand it right, you deliver it well, you are there for the next 10 years in the customer. So there are tons of formulas there, but whenever you read it, don't stick to one. Read 4 or 5 different. Go to YouTube, type value proposition, you get 10 different. That's what I do. That's how I learn. I never stick to one. I listen to 4, 5, 10, 15 videos. Then I go and read 15, 16 articles. From there I drive my उसकी जो दी अंडरस्टैंडिंग अच्छा इसके माने ये होते हैं. So अब तो इंटरनेट है, यूट्यूब है, you can learn things at the spur of the moment. But yes, value proposition is definitely the most important part in running a business. Cash flow and value proposition. Cash flow means कितना पैसा आया, कितना गया, मेरी कंपनी बंद ना हो. वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन जो कुछ भी कस्टमर के दरवाजे से अंदर जा रहा है उससे उसको इतने करोड़ का फायदा है रेवेन्यू में, या इतने अरब का फायदा है कॉस्टिंग में, या इतना फायदा है प्रोडक्टिविटी में, वो आपको बताना चाहिए. ठीक है,
थैंक यू सर.
वेलकम.
अली, आपका हैंड रेज अभी है या पहले वाला रेज किया हुआ है?
नहीं सर, अभी है सर. सर हेलो सर, दिस इज अली अकबर शाह फ्रॉम NCRA-CMS Lab. सर तो सर बेसिकली मैंने सर आज सारा दिन स्टडी किया था. कल आपने सजेशन कुछ दिए थे तो मैंने आज कुछ स्लाइड्स देखी थी MIT से, जो उनकी ओपन वेयर है. तो आई एम सो हैप्पी कि आपने जो कुछ आज कवर किया है वो उनकी स्लाइड्स के हिसाब से ही है,
अच्छा,
बिकॉज MIT इज फॉलोइंग द सेम पैटर्न. तो दूसरी चीज सर जो हमें अभी मतलब फेस होगी इन फ्यूचर में भी, मे बी इट्स अ रिक्वेस्ट इफ देयर कैन बी अनदर सेशन फॉर यू नो हाउ टू पिच अ प्रोजेक्ट.
पहले प्रोजेक्ट बना लो, पिचिंग भी सिखा देंगे, कोई इशू नहीं है.
राइट सर.
वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन जो है ना, वो पिचिंग का दूसरा नाम है.
राइट सर.
मैं आप क्या बताते हैं कस्टमर को, मैं कौन हूँ, मेरे पास क्या है और इससे आपको बेनिफिट क्या है. इन 1 minute यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन टू द कस्टमर, मेरा नाम XYZ है, मैं मेहरान यूनिवर्सिटी से आया हूँ, मेरे पास जो डिवाइस है सर वो आपकी कंपनी में 1000 मोटर्स पे लगा के आप 10 करोड़ रुपए बचा सकते हैं. क्या मैं आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर हो सकता हूँ? अच्छा, अगर आप ये गोली देंगे तो पकड़ लेगा आपको. अब इस पिच के लिए आपके पास एक बिजनेस प्लान होना जरूरी है. वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन देने के लिए ये सारा काम करना पड़ेगा तो वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन सामने आएगी. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. इस तरह पिच के लिए भी, इफ द बिजनेस प्लान इज नॉट एक्यूरेट एंड गुड, देयर इज नो रीजन टू गिव पिच. मेरा नाम अजहर रिजवी है, मैं मेरियान यूनिवर्सिटी आया हूँ और मैं आपको बिजनेस प्लानिंग का कोर्स करा रहा हूँ जिससे आपके सारे प्रोजेक्ट अच्छी तरह अप्रूव हो जाएंगे. तो आप मेरी बात सुनेंगे, मगर उसको बताने के लिए मुझे कुछ ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड दिखाना पड़ेगा ना, उसको कुछ समझना पड़ेगा. तो कस्टमर को समझ के जो आप पिच देते हैं, जो आपकी प्रोडक्ट है, उसको जो पिच आपको प्रिपेयर करनी है वो प्रिपेयर करनी है अकॉर्डिंग टू कस्टमर नीड्स. और कस्टमर नीड्स बगैर हार्डवर्क के नहीं आती. तो आप वो कीजिए, पिचिंग आपको इंशाल्लाह हम सिखा देंगे. बड़ा बेसिक प्रोसेस है एंड यू लर्न इन नॉट मोर देन. आप सब तो पढ़े लिखे लोग माशाल्लाह, यू आर वेरी स्मार्ट. तो इट विल ओनली टेक यू 30 minutes टू बिकम एन एक्सीलेंट पिचर. सब आधा घंटा आपको चाहिए. ठीक है,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Ali. Thank you, Shah Saab. Thank you. अस्सलाम, कैसे हैं आप? थैंक यू. बहुत लाइट खोल दीजिए.
So if there is no any other question, बाकी तो यह है कि वो थ्रू ऑफलाइन भेज देंगे. जो डॉक्टर तनवीर साहब ने कहा है, कोई इंफॉर्मेशन जरूरत होगी तो आपसे गाइडेंस लेंगे.
Sure.
Once again, we are grateful on behalf of IEEE and QS Word Merit, IEEE Communication Society, Karachi Section, and NCRA. So yeah, we are highly grateful कि ये मेरे ख्याल में ये बड़ा एक अच्छा स्टेज सेट हुआ है काफी अरसे के बाद. एक कमर्शलाइजेशन पे टॉक मेरे ख्याल में हमारी टीम ने फर्स्ट टाइम इतनी सुनी है. I think they must do things now in better way. और हम इंशाल्लाह कोई देखेंगे कि फॉर्मल कोई मैदान में हम एक ऑफिशियली कोई एंगेजमेंट, वो भी मैं देखूंगा कि जब आप फ्री होंगे. और टंडो जाम का भी मेरे जहन में है. मरीज साहब वेरी गुड फ्रेंड, उनके साथ किसी 101 बैठेंगे तो इस चीज को भी देख लेंगे इंशाल्लाह.
उनका एक घर यहाँ कराची में है डॉक्टर साहब. मेरे घर से पत्थर फेंको रास्ते में. वी आर हार्डली आधे मील के फासले पे.
तो वो मैं किसी वक्त भी वीकेंड पे मीटिंग करा सकता हूँ उनके साथ.
आप आइए ना डॉक्टर साहब, जब आप आइए तो आप
राइट,
हम दोनों भाई मिलकर पकड़ते हैं, वरना वो हाथ में नहीं आएंगे. ठीक है.
ठीक.
ओके डॉक्टर साहब, थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू.